Good day, friends. Welcome to Gord's Poetry Show number 80. Here at the tail end of the 2021 winter here in the Northern Hemisphere. The poems of Rumi. He hasn't been with us for, 800 years at least, and yet he seems never to have gone. Such is the praise of eternity when you dip yourself in its wine. Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi, 1207-1273, master of the Sufi tradition. Something I briefly dipped myself in 40, 50 years ago, but decided being a theosophist and a spiritualist was, a little more in my lane. But Sufi thought certainly played a role in my formative years. And interestingly enough, one of the books I'm going to be reading from, Unseen Rain, I've had it in my library for years. And when I decided, I thought, let's do some Rumi, I couldn't find it. So I went to the local library, and I got two books out, The Illuminated Rumi and Unseen Rain. So I thought, well, I guess I have to be reading from this one. Now, there's lots of others. Coleman Barks has like a dozen different books in Rumi. And they're all spiritual. Some are a little more theological, I'd say. I mean, you start mentioning prophets by name, I'd say that's theological. And you mentioned several prophets. We're not just talking, the one brand here. But I prefer the ones that are abstractly spiritual. At first, I sang and recited poems, keeping the neighbors awake. Now more intense, quieter. When the fire flames up, smoke vanishes. Listen to presences inside poems. Let them take you where they will. Follow those private hints and never leave the premises. Drunks fear the police, but the police are drunk too. People in this town love them both, like different chess pieces. Night goes back to where it was. Everyone returns home sometime. Night, when you get there, tell them how I love you. Night comes so people can sleep like fish in black water. Then day. Some people pick up their tools. Others become the making itself. The morning wind spreads its fresh smell. We must get up and take that in. That wind lets us live. Breathe before it's gone. Who says the eternal being does not exist? Who says the sun has gone out? Someone who climbs up on the roof and closes his eyes tight and says, I don't see anything. The sun is love, the lover a speck circling the sun. A spring wind moves to dance any branch that isn't dead. Don't let your throat tighten with fear. Take sips of breath all day and night before death closes your mouth. Those on the way are almost invisible to those who are not. A man or a woman recognizes God and starts out. The others say he or she is losing faith. God only knows, I don't, what keeps me laughing. The stem of a flower moves when the air moves. The wine we really drink is our own blood. Our bodies ferment in these barrels. We give up everything for a glass of this. We give our minds for a sip. In complete control, pretending control with dignified authority, we are charlatans, or maybe just a goat's hairbrush in a painter's hand. We have no idea what we are. We donate a cloak to the man who does the washing. We feel proud of our generosity. We stare at the infinite suffering ocean. We fall in. Lying back in this presence, no longer able to eat or drink, I float freely like a corpse in the ocean. I just found one that was slightly theological. But I think it sort of passed the litmus test of standing outside definitions. Sometimes visible, sometimes not. Sometimes devout Christian, sometimes staunchly Jewish. Until our inner love fits into everyone. All we can do is take daily these different shapes. My work is to carry this love as comfort for those who long for you, to go everywhere you've walked and gaze at the pressed down dirt. Now a couple from the illuminated Rumi. And very definitely illuminated, I might add. All the poems are printed on top of artwork. Has anyone been swept up in this wave and not moved to the beach? Was there ever a fish that fled from the sea, or a canvas that turned from the brush? Alone, I'm a name with no meaning. But this loving is so charged with meaning it does not need names. Still, let's say it all again. You're that sea, I'm that fish, and it's all your show. Melting heart or imperial degree. I'll take everything. But what kind of love is this? You slip away for a single moment, and the whole world bursts into flame. You return, and all that fire slips back into the candle that lights up my chest. All religions, all this singing, one song. The differences are just illusion and vanity. The sun's light looks a little different on this wall than it does on that wall, and a lot different on this other one. But it's still one light. We have borrowed these clothes, these times and place personalities. from a light, and when we praise, we're pouring them back in. We have borrowed these clothes, these time and place personalities from a light, and when we praise, we're pouring them back in. I'd say yes to that. Very much yes. Yes, yes, and yes. And finally, or maybe not finally, a little homage to Rumi I wrote myself on January the 20th this year. It's not the meal you miss when tears and recriminations wreck the ripple of moments. It's the meal you cannot see as you don't know it's there, serving itself to you. The meal we don't know is there. The one we breathe every day. So friends, a small vacation in the land of Rumi. God bless his eternal soul for giving us much inspiration, and obviously not in English originally. And I know not how many, translations there have been, in other languages. There may have been very many. I imagine Coleman Barks knows. And thank you for Coleman for making it such a well-loved form. I mean, there are other translators, but he's certainly one of the most prominent. I see this quatrains were done by John Moyne and Coleman Barks. But I think Coleman's really dedicated his incarnation to that task. And I bet it doesn't seem much like a task anymore. So, until we meet again on the windswept plains of eternity, I wish you all farewell.